Well, hello, and good evening, everyone. Or technically, good morning to people. You know how this goes. Just chillax and play some music and see what night owls show up. Hey, Christy sis, how you doing? Get a good, relaxing beat and everything going on. So, hey, how you doing, Paul? I'm glad to hear that, Chrissy sis. I'm glad to hear that. I'm just out here enjoying the night. All right, enough of that. We can we can start talking. Well, I got confirmation from my cat that's been missing for the last 4 days. She's just outside enjoying the woods. She's my little spirit cat. She's enjoying the woods and everything, and maybe she'll want to come back inside. I don't know. She's trying to lead me into the woods. Yeah, my baby. My baby Calypso. She's actually out enjoying the weather and everything right now. And the woods. And I'm just happy she's okay. But I'm still pissed off at her. She's my baby. She ain't supposed to leave home. She ain't supposed to leave me. She's supposed to be home to greet me. Hey Terry, brother, how you doing? Yeah, I think I think my Calypso has been snacking on rodents and birds and everything. Oh, I'm good, Terry, brother. My my baby Calypso, She got out of the house and everything like 4 days ago, and I found her just having fun out in the woods, and she doesn't want to come home yet. So I went out and bought her some. We went out and bought her some Temptation cat snacks, and she just like, no, I like being in the woods. She came around the house and said, was meowing and letting the other cats know she's okay. It's just something about nature that brings animals, even domesticated animals and humans, back to reality, back to their roots, what they are. Yeah, she does, brother. And now that I know she truly truly enjoys outside and everything, I'm gonna go buy her a harness and a leash and everything, and I'll probably take her on camping trips with me. Get her one of those like little cat backpacks that I can put her in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nature harmonizes everybody. It's just not the same without her inside, you know what I mean? But I'm glad she's okay. But it just goes to show, you know, even the most domesticated person can make it in the wilderness. Oh yeah, brother. Yeah, same here. That was one thing I used to do. I used to make, tree houses and all that stuff when I was younger. Tree forts. It's just so peaceful in the wilderness. And media and movies and everything make it seem so scary to be outside. I hate that. Sorry, I'm just sitting back and enjoying the breeze and just listening. That's awesome, Terry, brother. That's awesome. Yeah. I really hate the way humanity's going right now. One of those things, you know. Humans never change. Humans don't know anything about, well, not all humans, should I say, but the majority of humans don't know anything about respect or caring or human emotions at all. It's just, oh, listen to that breeze. It's here and it's gone. Oh, yeah, Terry. Animals, in most cases, animals are better than humans. They always will be. Mm, life is life is something else, you know. Life makes you wonder. It's okay, Groot. It's one of my inside cats. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, we do. But, it's just the farther I could get away from humanity, the happier I would be. The only bad thing is I need humanity to stay alive. Oh yeah. Yeah. The sound of the crashing waves. Yeah. I feel you on that, Terry. Pigs, things would be so much better if, you know, technology was not as rampant as it is. If humanity was more of a reality. Yeah, yes, sir. It's, it's as far as I could be away from humans. I can grow my own food. I can hunt my own food. I can do anything that I desire on my land. And not a lot of people can do that. But it wasn't always like this. I remember, I grew up in the city and I grew up with my grandparents, but I lived both lives. But what I learned from my grandparents and everything was the peace of mind, being being your own person, not following other people's footsteps. Yeah, Rocket, it's okay. Your sister's enjoying the woods right now. She'll come home soon. Sorry, I got three indoor cats, and my fourth one is just enjoying her fullest life out in the woods right now. Oh, I know, Terry. I, I remember that time period too, brother. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of technology has, a lot of technology has. Calypso, come here, Calypso. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Hold on, give me a second. All right. All right. I rescued her. She's in the house now, and I have 5 million claw marks all over my body. Thank you, CR, brother. I went to go get my cat. Thank you, Terry, brother. She is pissed off at me because I brought her in. This is what I get. This is what I get for pissing off a cat. You know, I was never a cat person. I was never a cat person until I got with Miss Star. I've always been a dog person. But I just I've realized how special cats are. How how wonderful a cat is, especially when they resonate with you. Yeah, mine was mine. They're not temperamental. They're just opinionated, should I say. Cat's claws are like needle razor blades. You know, they never truly right. Yeah, even a cat nap. Oh yeah, Terry. See, my girl Calypso, like she was she was abandoned as a baby, and they found her outside. I mean, the people that we got her from found her outside in the bushes and everything and brought her in. She had a broken tail, and I mean, her tail was broken when she was a kitten and healed wrong, and now it's got like humps in it, kind of like the waves of the ocean. Even her stripes and everything are not even stripes, like kind of like how you drop a pebble in a water pool, you know? That's why I call her Calypso, goddess of the sea, you know? Well, the witch of the sea. She even has black lipstick and eyeliner. But Cassie's oracle reading was right, you know. She said within the month she would pop back up. happy and everything. And the only reason why I got all the claw marks and everything is because the neighbors' dogs were going crazy and barking and everything. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's just ramblings, brother. I couldn't sleep. Like, me worried about my cat was just, so I decided to do a live stream and everything. But I need to thank Cassie for her oracle reading. Oh, I dropped that whole entire bag of temptations out in the woods. I gotta go get it. Yeah, this is just a chill stream, CR. Just discussions, just talking like how we would around a table. Right, Oz, brother. How you doing, brother? Good evening, sir. Good evening. I just got my cat from the woods and tore my whole entire arm up to get her in, and she's pissed off at me now because she was enjoying the woods. Yeah, that's true, Terry. And now I can do my camp out stream now. Right. Great. That was great, Oz. That was great. uh, everything's right in the world now, brother. Everything is right in the world. It's my neighbors are. I went and got all that garden equipment and everything for free off of Craigslist. I got $1,200 worth of gardening equipment and seeds and fertilizer and everything for free, Oz, off of Craigslist. Yes. Oh yeah. It was a rich woman that wanted to start a hobby garden. Yes, I did. Yes, I did see her. I got me a hoe. Yeah. Like the woman The woman wanted to start a hobby garden, and they were rich and everything, and she didn't understand that doing gardening gets you dirty and makes you sweat. And her husband bought all this gardening stuff for her and everything, and she did it for like 3 weeks and said no to it, and he didn't want to keep all the stuff. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Oz. But her husband being a businessman and everything, he didn't want that stuff being around his house, you know. So he put it up, and I replied to it and got it. You got all the good stuff today, sir. Oh, right, CR, sir. Right. It was a good score. Man, it is just today has actually been a good day, you know? And I haven't been able to say that in a while. I actually haven't been able to say it's been a good day. You know, with all this stuff that's going on and everything, and what I heard that happened in the news today, I just I don't know. Right, CR. Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get all those rain barrels. Right? Win-win all around. Just I looked up on Craigslist earlier today. Well, when I got home and everything, I was looking on Craigslist and I saw a pontoon boat for like $500, and we call them party barges and stuff over here in the States. But I was thinking you could put a shed or build something onto the flat of that pontoon boat, and you can make a bug out boat, you know? Yeah, kind of like that, yeah. Right, Oz. Yeah. Terry. Yeah, the boat. Yeah. Like, it's a 32-foot pontoon boat. It comes with a trailer. It comes, the only thing that's wrong with it is the steering column is bad. Like the circuitry in the steering column is bad. And, that's like a $300 fix on it. And being able to buy one of these, piece together like sheds or whatever and put it on there. And you could turn it into, you know, a houseboat pretty much. Oh, did it freeze over? Oh, that's wonderful, CR. I've always wondered why people in the States and everything don't, they take into consideration buying land, buying a house or a cottage somewhere out in the middle of God knows where country, you know, instead of buying something like a pontoon boat that's just a a flat platform that you could literally build to what you want. And you could take it literally almost anywhere except for on the sea. You can take it on lakes, you could take it in rivers, stuff like that. So that'd be an awesome idea also, Terry. It's just the mindset. And don't get me wrong, I know. Yeah, same here, brother. Same here, Terry. But, I also think on the other side, if SHTF does ever happen, if it truly, truly is an SHTF situation, everything and anything is going to be free to the taking. You know, that's the thing. But the safest location in an SHTF situation would be at sea if you have a big enough vessel. You know, like being on the water, you could you could literally you could literally pack it packed full of food, supplies, whatever you need. You could take it to a remote island in the middle of who knows where. Yeah, you can fish off of it. Right, Terry, right. And that's the thing, that's the thing that nobody realizes. Nobody would put that into effect. Like, if SHTF happens, there is thousands upon thousands of multi-million dollar yachts out there. Yes, you have to worry about gasoline for it. Yes. But hey, best sis, how you doing? But the thing is, you have to worry about. Oh, that's weird. There is a there is a yellow light floating in the sky, but there is no sound coming from it. Oh, did you? Did you, sis? No, no. I never sleep, CR. I never sleep, brother. But the thing is like at a SHTF situation, gasoline is going to be the worst resource to get. Yeah, I know, right? What's sleep? And that's for everything. That's for cars, that's for generators, that's for anything but a boat. Something that you could literally get away from all civilization on a boat. I'm talking about one of those nice wind sailboats that have, the underground that has the whole living apartment, where you have a kitchen and all the stuff in the whole of it. The only thing you would really have to worry about in a survival situation on a boat is the currents, the the weather on the ocean. But right, Terry, right. I mean, there's a lot of boats out there that take that has diesel engines. And diesel engines, if you know the basic compounds to make biofuel for those old diesel engines, nice, Oz, nice, brother, yeah. Sweet, Terry. Thank you, brother. I'd do the same for you, brother. But these are ideas that we need to bring to light in our prepping communities and our survival communities and stuff. Yeah, you can, CR. Yes, I would. You know it, Beth. Nah. In a survival situation on a boat, you'd have plenty of fish for that. You would have plenty of outside resources except for water. That's the one main thing that you would have to worry about. Really, Oz. That's some good information, brother. Thank you. I remember you talking about that. I remember you saying that. Now, can that work for older diesel boat engines too, Oz? I mean, could the older diesel boat engines, could they run on the same thing as, say, you know, a vehicle diesel engine? True. Ah, okay, Oz. I've heard of Opel. All right. All right. That just makes me, I have a bug out vehicle. I have a bug out RV. Because the thing with me is if I'm bugging out, I turn all my stuff into inch vehicles, and I'm never coming home vehicle. Just like I don't have bug out bags or anything. I have get home bags, I have scout bags, and I have inch bags. And that's what I would like to do. I would like to have my next project be an inch boat, something that can take all forms of weather and also has two forms of getting around with sails and a motor, you know? Awesome. Hmm. Ah, okay, Terry. Okay. There was a there was a diesel car here in America that was a European car that was made by a European jet fighter company. Uh, I don't remember its name, but I know that diesel engine, you got like 80 miles to a gallon on diesel on it. Dice, Terry, dice. See that's another thing. Like the cars need to have interchangeable parts too. You know what I mean? Like Mack diesel trucks, the diesel big rigs, they can take Volvo, they can take um, light jacks and some other brand. to interchange their parts if needed. Hey Derek, how you doing, brother? Yeah, Bob, building on boats. Yeah. Y'all think that would be a good idea? Like if I could go and get that pontoon boat and I start building on it and doing like a series, you think that would do good for my channel? You think that would help people? Really, Oz? Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. That's just something in the woodworks now. To try to get a boat that can do everything that I need it to do and be enough. Oz. That's great. No, I didn't know that, Derek. Oz probably does. CR. But that's something, you know? That's something to think about. And like I said, in most SHTF situations and everything, everything's going to be free game. I mean, there may not be a need for me to go get a boat and start piecing it together to make it what I need it to be when I could just go to Corpus Christi in an SHTF situation and go and get any kind of boat that I want that's on that coast, you know? Hmm. It may just be, an up in smoke idea, you know? Like, gotcha, Oz. Gotcha. Yeah, fishing with Second Star. Yeah, that would be, because here's the thing, there's plenty of islands and everything on the coast of Corpus Christi outside of Texas, that that I could do because I know there's a lot of Australian bushcrafting and everything that they go out to the islands around, Australia and stuff like that and go and do their survival stuff, you know? But, it's so much different on an island. You may go to an island and it has all the food and everything that you need, but it has no clean water at all. Like, it has no actual water sources. But then you can go to an island and it has all the clean water, but it has no actual edible food on it. Right, CR. See, that's another thing. You don't know if it's been raided, you don't know if it's been destroyed, you don't know anything. Oh, like when the world comes to an end, Derek. When the like when the shit hits the fan. That's what SHTF means. Like it just makes you yeah, yeah, Beth. I mean, there's hundreds of things that can go wrong. Or that too, Oz. That too. Hey, hey, when you get kicked out of the house or whatever, that turns into a survival situation. That turns into an SHTF situation. People take advantage of the word survival and prepping and all this stuff. They look at it as the end of the world is coming, but it could just be something as a job loss. It could be something as, you know, another stock market crash. It could be any small thing that could turn into an SHTF situation to you. But right, right, brother, right. Anything, you know, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. It doesn't have to be what most of these glorified, doomsday preppers are prepping for. It's everyday life that we prep for. Nice. Nice, Derek. Yeah. Hold on. Here. Boop. Boop. There you go. You never know with my channel, CR. You never know, brother. Come on up here, Oz, brother, and we'll talk. Hello, hello.
Hey, good day.
How you doing, brother?
Not bad, not bad, not bad at all. But you hit the nail on the head. You know, here we are. We're all prepping. We're all doing this. We're all doing that. Everybody with their own little, twist to the way they do it, based on where they are,
Right.
who they are, and so on. And just the other week, 22nd of Feb, 2022, we moved up north to our new homestead site. Well, new property, should I say? Future homestead site. So, second time building a homestead from scratch. And lo and behold, it was raining and raining and raining and raining and raining and raining. And I'm not talking rain by the buckets. I'm talking by the truckload.
Yeah.
IBCs were falling down, not drops. IBCs were literally falling down. Like, that's how, yeah, it was crazy. And sure
Yeah.
enough, gutters couldn't hold it in, just started flowing down the property and started entering the house, the new house, the place that we bought. And lo and behold,
Right.
went down the cable of from the solar system down to the inverter. The inverter carked it, killed the water pump, killed the fridge. So no fridge, no electricity, no water, no flowing water.
Yeah.
Cleaning out a bunch of water, about 2 or 3 inches of water that, well, the leftovers, should I say, not so much cleaning out the water, but you had to, sweep it out a little bit. And we just got there. We literally just got there that night.
Right.
So not like we had any time to think or prepare or anything like that. However, the preps that we took with us and our bug out bags, two of
Mm-hmm.
which, like I say, had camp showers in there, the one in the car, and I can't remember whether it was mine or my missus, but had, so the camp showers kicked in, and some luxury items like that little gas stove thingamabob, the camping gas stove with
Yeah.
the little butane, those gas bottles, whatever, those little things. Those they kicked in. So the preps all kicked in. The prepping paid off.
Right. And see, and that's the thing that people don't understand about Australia. They think, oh, it's just desert out there and it's dry and you just get, wildfires and stuff. But it's the same thing. Australia gets the same thing as the Midwest here in the United States. Y'all get massive floodings. Once every 5 years or something like that?
Nah, it's more common than that. It's just different areas. It all depends where.
Oh.
Yeah. But you got to remember, north is tropical, right? From
Mm-hmm.
central to North Australia is subtropical and tropical. So rain isn't something that's unusual. And most of the
Right.
rivers up north are tidal. They're not freshwater, or they're freshwater up to a certain point, but then they become tidal. So you got a mix of freshwater and saltwater in there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you see these
See,
big
I
river
didn't even
systems
know
up
that.
north. Yeah, big river systems up north. They're not all
Mhm.
drinking water. Put it that way.
Gotcha. Well, it's just like here in Mexico, here in some parts of Texas, going down to Mexico, you know, that like when you get past Mexico City, there's certain parts of the rainforest and everything down there, and you may see 5 or 6 gigantic rivers, but you can't drink out of them because, they're actually cyanide, like, and
Is that what Corona beer is made out of?
yeah,
Well, I reckon.
but but yeah, and there's some places over here in Texas that are lime that's limestone quarry runoffs that people believe are, streams and rivers. But it's got so much limestone in it that it makes people sick, and you can't purify it or anything because it's all limestone, and it's one of those things, like, people we only have a certain amount of fresh drinking water in the state of Texas, unless you go up north Texas, because there's, like, I guess it's the same way as, Australia. We got like 4 different biomes in Texas,
Yeah,
and
Australia's got it all, man. We got the mountains with
mhm,
snow. We got the down south where it's a lot Europeanish type of weather, and up
yeah,
north it's fully tropical. Out west it's all bloody desert.
right,
So
right, right,
best of all worlds and worst of all the worlds as well.
yeah, and that's the thing, like, in Australia, they always glamorize that outback, like, that's all that Australia is just the outback, like,
That's to keep all you wannabe Aussies out of here.
right.
It's called propaganda.
Yeah.
make the world think that everything wants to kill you in Australia, and then they won't come here. That we'll have it all for ourselves.
Right. Oh yeah, like I heard about they just put out a thing on like Discovery Channel about jumping jack ants like in southern part of, I think the southern part of Australia, that they're these red ants with like an almost like a half an inch stinger on it, and they're
Oh,
saying
bullet.
that yeah, bull ant, yeah,
Yeah,
and it
I
puts
crawled
people in
over.
the
I crawled over
hospital.
when I was in when I was on I forgot what it was, some training or something or other in the military. Forgot what
Yeah.
course it was. To be honest, we had a night operation thing, leopard crawling to the blah 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 and all that shit. And I leopard crawled right over one of those bloody nests because they're flat.
Oh man.
all I did was say fuck this shit. Got up and started taking me jump roll. It was like fucking ants, ants. It's like sting, sting, sting. Well, I
Yeah.
learned I'm not allergic to bull ants because if I was,
Oh
I would
yeah.
have been f the hell.
Well, we have fire ants here. They're little microscopic red ants, but if you step on their nest or whatever, millions of them will cover over you and just start stinging the crap out of
Uh,
you.
are they the ones that shoot the acid at you or something?
Well, they uh the soldier ants can spit acid at you and burn your flesh, but
Yeesh.
the ma- yeah, but the majority of them, they bite you and they have like a venom in their bite. And when they bite you, it literally feels like you're on fire. Like
You can
you
keep
step
those.
through a flame.
If that, you can keep those, man. Bull ants were enough.
Mhm.
Bull ants were enough of an experience for me, man. I'm telling you that much.
Oh yeah, brother. I know what you mean. Like,
Been there, done that, and never again.
oh yeah. Oh God, I hate them. Like, and they're so fast. Like, before you can even take your foot off, like your whole entire shoe or your boot would be like engulfed in like thousands of them.
Oh bloody hell, that sounds
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
You literally have to have like a liquid acid to pour onto their nest, and they will pull it into their they'll give it to their queen and they'll eat it and all this stuff, and that's the only way it'll kill them. And even with that acid that melts through them because their shell is so hard that you can't poison them, with like regular spray or anything.
Hmm.
You have to melt them from the inside.
Unbelievable. I
Yeah.
watched a few shows on YouTube, a few channels, whatever,
Hmm.
videos where people are pouring molten lead or something like molten aluminium down, aluminum as you call it, down
Yeah.
down the ant nests, mate. And
Yes.
man, some of those nests are huge.
Yes. Yes. Like, there's one that at the museum that I guard and everything that is over 2 miles long of a
What
red ant nest. Yeah, yeah. They said it had over like 30 billion ants in it and 16 separate queens that were constantly like producing ants.
Damn. We reckon
Yeah,
that cities like New York are overpopulated.
right.
Imagine how much property costs down there in the ant world.
Right. Oh, yeah. There was a food holding storage in the metal exhibit of it, um, that was the size of a basketball.
Oh
Like,
boy.
yeah. And they thought, when they pulled it out, it's the longest fire ant hive in history that they found. And they said that, that if somebody if somebody would have walked over that nest, the amount of red ants that would have covered that person, they would have died from, like, 5 minutes of the stings.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Anyway, Derek here with mention of Facebook going down and people freaking out. Well, I'll tell you what, Derek. I was delightfully surprised with my kids, my two daughters and little boy. They didn't freak out. They didn't panic. They just, I don't know how to put it. They just pitched in and they realized the situation requires to be rational, and they were rational.
that's good.
Yeah, when put into the situation, they didn't, you know, they didn't do what some people do and panic or go into depression or anything like
And that's one of the mindsets of people now with our day of age of technology, everybody's gotta have a social media account, everybody's gotta have this, and it 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 also makes me scared of what would happen if the grid did go down and nobody had GPS for their cars, you know? Like
Well, I'm teaching the kids about the good book and trying to get the message across. So
right.
preparing them for a potential bad situation in the world when, as far as tech, the money, and all that goes, the politics, but
Yeah.
not in a way where I try to freak them out or put fear into them. Just tell them
Right.
that there's a good chance of this happening because out of the 80% that has so far been gone past or has been, it's all been 100% correct.
Yeah.
And my money's on the 20% that's remaining, that will be correct as well. I mean, it's just a better's type of, guy gives you the tips that are winning tips 100% of the time for 80% of his predictions.
Yeah.
You'll go with the rest of his 20% of his tips that he's put forwards.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
as simple as that. So they understand that, not one of these Bible bashers or anything like that. But although some people
Mhm.
in modern day age might say, "Oh, they're Bible bashing," no, whatever. It's like got no time to deal with these secular types of people.
Oh, yeah. I understand, brother. It's one of those things that
But
if
yeah,
you don't
anyway,
conform to their way of thinking, it's.
yeah.
You
But it is a good way to get the kids or get anybody really out there to start thinking about
Mhm.
what if this were to happen.
Yeah.
They don't, even if, let's say, someone doesn't want to accept or believe what's written, that's their choice.
Yeah.
However, for them to start thinking about what if this does happen, what if this scenario, any one of these scenarios happens, i.e., the one world currency, i.e., the world war, i.e.,
Mhm.
the heat wave slash fire, situation. So you get my point. It's like, so it gets
I
them
love
thinking,
it.
and they don't have to think of it from a religious aspect. No, just think of it from a real world aspect. Get them
Right.
to start thinking, and then you can see once it clicks, they actually realize, well, maybe prepping isn't such a bad idea actually, especially after
Yeah.
the events of the toilet paper brawls that were going on in some of the shops and all that. I mean,
Yeah.
if that wasn't a wake up call, then what the heck is?
That still throws me off. Everybody went for toilet paper and not food. It was like,
Well, it just goes to show what their priorities. They're assholes.
yeah, right. They need something to wipe their mouth with, right?
Yeah, need to learn how to pull up the pants and give their mouth a go.
Right. It was just, you know, when it all happened and everything, I went to the store and I got all the stuff that I needed, extra spices, whatever I needed that I knew we probably couldn't get because the stores weren't allowing people in, and if they did, they were only allowing like 5 people in at a time. And it's like last year when Texas got frozen over, when we had 3 weeks of snow. Well, 2 weeks of snow. Um, they after the second week, they were starting to let people into the stores, right? But they were only allowing a handful of people, like 10 people at a time, because they didn't know if the power was going to go out, and they didn't want to pack they didn't want a store packed full of people and not being able to buy anything. So we were out in the snow in the freezing cold, waiting in a line that was the size of a football field, and just to get into a store and may or may not have a chance to buy anything. And there was people still lining up, numerous people, to get in the store to get what they needed. And I was like, this is what it's like if an end of the world situation happens, you know? People are literally camping out in front of grocery stores just to be in a spot to get something to eat.
Oh, yeah,
And
definitely.
it's a scary thought.
Yeah,
And
it's reality. Well, it
yeah,
happened in the Eastern Bloc, happened in the
right.
war in the Balkans. Well, it happened in the war in the Balkans to some extent. In some places, it happened full on. But
Yeah.
yeah, I saw it. Nobody can tell me that. You know, you don't need to tell me what it looks like. I saw it.
Mhm. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, although it becomes a norm, people just
Right.
adapt to it. They just accept it. You know, that's
Yes.
the scariest part of it all.
Yeah.
There's always an
And
excuse why to accept the abnormal or something that is totally out of any conceivable acceptable level of life standard.
right. Yeah.
But it is a reality. People are dependent on politicians,
Right.
especially city people, and that's what it comes down to. Politicians have made themselves gods, gods,
Yes.
literally
Yes.
gods. They are the alpha and omega of everything in a person's life in a
Mhm.
metropolis. They've proven it. 2020, they proved it.
Right.
Now, I know somebody might say that's religious. No, I'm saying
Mm.
gods with a small g. So,
Yeah.
by the definition of that term, and if people were to look it up, they'll see that this is the alpha and omega of everything
Right.
in the lives of human beings. That's what these politicians have made themselves into with the powers that they've given themselves.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Mhm.
Your
But
fuel
that's how
depends on
that's how
politicians.
all our leaders did.
Your food depends on politicians. Your
Yep.
electricity depends on politicians. Your water supply depends on politicians. Your ability to walk out of the house with or without a mask on depends on politicians. Your ability to
Yep.
even stand 1.5 meters or 6 foot or whatever you want, whatever the measurement was in what country, to another person
Mhm.
depends on what? On politicians.
Yep.
Um, Look up the definition of gods, gods, with a small g. Hmm, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it, it's because we we take everything for granted from them. People in the cities and stuff like that. Their daily bread, their ability to eat, their ability to talk to people, like it's all government ran, food stamps. They even have cell phone plans and everything for people that are, you know, that don't have the money to go and purchase a cell phone. Like, they get a certain amount of minutes a month, they get a free cell phone, they get all this stuff,
Yep.
and
Oh, no, no,
anything and
let's
everything.
go. No, let's go. No, don't worry about the people who are inconveniently put into a situation where they are not able to currently afford something. Let's go to
Right.
the average Joe Blow that's working. Let's go to the
Mhm.
average working class family. How can
Yeah.
they be independent for anything? Put all those romantics aside. I've
Yeah.
got me Bible, I've got me rifle, I've got this, I've got that. That's all fine. But let's
Mhm.
look realistically. The average family, two parents, two or three kids, right? That
Right.
seems to be some sort of what we consider normal sized, average sized family, right?
Yes.
Mum and dad are working. Either usually dad's working full time, mum might be working part time, or they're both working full time, depending. Or
Right.
one's working, one's not. Whatever. Sorry, everything's based on taxes, on local laws,
Mhm.
on state laws, and federal laws. Whichever country you're living in, there's different layers of laws, red tape put in there to make sure that that family is 100% dependent on those lawmakers slash politicians for everything.
Right.
I was today. I forgot somebody wrote in a comment today, maybe in your actual live stream earlier or
Uh-huh.
yesterday your time, today my time. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Somebody wrote in a comment something along the lines of, oh, how did they put it? Oh, shucks, I can't remember the exact wording, but it was on this topic, right?
Yeah.
And the tax for the land, that how many people in the US actually believe that they own the land. Hang on a
Yeah.
second. No, you don't. Just
Right.
like us in Australia, we pay a land tax or whatever you want to call it. I don't. It can be called whatever. It's
Yeah.
a it's a fee that you must pay to one of the layers of government, right, for the
Mhm.
land that you reside on. Sorry,
Yes.
you don't own it. Try not paying that tax. That land is no longer yours.
Mhm.
So, who in the US owns their own property?
Nobody.
Same thing in Australia.
Yep.
I think the state of Northern Territory doesn't have land tax or something like that, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure.
I
I'm not sure
gotcha.
where. I'm not sure exactly where, but they've got other taxes which make it possible for the Australian Tax Office, the federal department, right, the federal tax
Right.
office, to take all your belongings and everything without you being able to, say or do anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But yeah, like there's so many things that you have to pay on in America. Like like what we were discussing, water. If you don't pay your water bill, the state, I mean, the county that you live in can literally come and cap off your water, turn off your water because you are not paying. Even though that is a human necessity, they still have the right to come and turn it off and lock it. Same thing with electricity. If you don't pay your electricity bill, they have the right to come and take out your breaker box, your not breaker box, but the power box
yep,
to
I'm,
that's connecting to your house.
yep.
They can the meter box, that's it. They can take
Well,
the meter
they'll free
box
it.
away
Yeah,
from your house. I mean,
100%.
and and the same thing with your house payment. If you if you don't pay your house payment, you know, I mean, because everybody has a mortgage, everybody has,
Oh,
whatever.
you don't need a mortgage. Just don't pay the land tax or the some or that fee that is applicable in your state or your country or whatever
Oh,
your municipality.
oh, no, 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 no. If you don't pay your mortgage, the bank can come and take your house
Bank,
and your
yeah,
land.
but that's a debt. That's a
Yeah,
contractual agreement between you and the bank that you went into of your own free will.
right.
when you purchased that land, when you paid the previous owner X
Yep.
amount for a title to that land,
Mm-hmm.
and the government says, yeah, but you have to pay us so much in fees. Like I said, it doesn't matter what level of government, you have to pay us
Yep.
so much in fees / taxes on that land every year, or else, what? Or else we take it from you.
Yep. It's
Wait a
ours.
minute.
It's foreclosed
Yeah,
to us.
exactly. Wait a minute. So I
And
fence off my property, I manage my property, I maintain my property, I make sure that it's maintained, like
mm-hmm.
looked after, and I'm doing exactly what the good book tells me to do. And this little human being in a group of people called a political party, who sit in these cushy little chairs that live off the blood and hard sweat of working class people, are
Yes.
going to take this from me. And yeah, I'm
Yep.
doing everything by the book. No, by the book. Not any
Right.
old book, but the book. The one and the
Yep.
only. The oldest book known to mankind, which is over 4,000 years old.
Right.
So, and how old is the Constitution that they're sticking by? How old are the laws that they're sticking by? A couple hundred years, maybe.
Yep.
Compare that to 4,000 years. Nah. Precedence. Precedence.
Well,
There is a precedence in place, and the precedent is the good book. End of story.
yeah.
However, the majority, what do? They conform.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like when America was founded to not pay land taxes because that's why our ancestors got away from Europe, you
How
know?
long? How long did that last for?
Yeah. I mean, it lasted maybe what, 200 years?
Maybe.
I mean, it, it, it it's so stupid. Like they found out that, oh, we can't run a country or anything without people paying taxes to help circulate the money, you know? So and it's just like when you have a house and everything and you live in a subdivision or wherever you live, you have to pay if you're near a major city, you have to pay city taxes and county taxes. If you're in a county, if you're in a rural county, all you have to pay is county taxes. You don't have to pay city taxes because you're not in the city. But the thing is, you also have to pay all these other minute taxes also. Like, say, like me, I don't have children, right? But I still have to pay school taxes for the school fees and everything. Even though I don't have a child that goes to school or anything, I still had to pay a tax for school. Why? You
Because
know?
you're pitching in. You're pitching in.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not optional, but at the same time, if it was made optional, how many people would pitch in?
right.
Yeah, so I can understand the logic there. But
Mm-hmm.
again, as far as land, managing the land, owning and managing the land,
Yeah,
um, none of us own it technically because we have
yeah.
debts owing every year. And until we pay
Well,
that debt, guess what? It's not our land.
yeah. Well, here's another thing that's hit the United States. It's called HOA, homeowner association. And that's for like gated communities and houses that are over like $200,000.
Okay.
Okay. And HOA is not a government party, it's not anything. It's a homeowner association, which it was created like 20 years ago to keep the value of your home from decreasing. So everybody in your neighborhood has to rely on the same rules and regulations to live in this community.
So
Like,
it's a mob rule, but on a micro or scale type of thing.
right, but you had to pay a monthly payment for it. Like,
Uh,
it can range between $80 to $300. and you have
Yep.
to pay that monthly on top of your taxes, on top of your house payment, everything. And the thing also is that HOA never goes away. You literally have to sign a contract for it. And if you don't follow the rules or if you break the rules, the HOA can literally take you to court and sue you over it. And they can also force you to sell your land and your house and make you move out of that community
Sounds
if
like
you don't
what
follow
they
the
call.
rules.
Yeah, they sounds a lot very similar to, if not identical to, what they call strata here in Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a different, the same poop, different packaging, different name.
Yeah. It's stupid. I'm like, who would do that? If I want to put a garden shed up in my backyard, I have to go and ask people, I have to go and talk to this community. I have to get a regulation contract signed that it can only be so many feet by so many feet. It has to be this particular color. It has to it has to only do this one thing. And say say you only want the shed to park your riding lawnmower in. Well, it can only be used to park your riding lawnmower in. You can't 5 years down the road make it a mother-in-law suite or, you know,
That big
a
mother-in-law.
yeah.
You want
They literally have people come out and look at
to,
everything that
you sure love your mother-in-law, man, to give her that many square feet.
mhm. Oh,
Eh?
yeah, you got to.
Eh? You and your
But
mother-in-law must get along really well. Them
nah,
old square feet, man.
I
Jeepers.
I was just using it as as a as an example, you know what I mean? Like, eh, like if you wanted to make it like a man cave
In
or,
there.
you can't do that. Like,
Eh,
you
I hear you. I hear you.
because they won't allow you to do it, and if you
Mob
did it
rule.
without them knowing, they'll take you to court.
Wanna be gods. Wanna be gods.
Mhm.
That's all they are.
And you gotta pay that for the rest of your life, even after you paid off your house and everything, you still have to abide by these rules and regulations until you die.
So even then, Derek just pointed out there's a death tax.
Yeah.
You gotta love that
Oh,
one.
yeah. 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 I know. It's nothing, like, the only time our land is going to be our land is in a SHTF situation when anarchy finally rules and destroys the government. It like that's it has to go that far, you know, to be us.
Yeah, I was watching or listening to, or watching a video, whatever. Uh, this or whatever the channel's called, I forgot now. It's an Australian channel. They touch on many topics, and and the host of the show said, when Jesus comes, as per the good book, when Jesus comes, there'll be 1,000 years of a dictatorship,
Yeah,
but a righteous. No, he said a righteous dictatorship. And
mhm,
I commented on that thing later on. I said, you answered your own, like, why is that acceptable? Why are people willing to accept a dictator called
yeah,
Jesus? And I commented, I said, you answered your own question within the question itself. You used the word
right,
righteous. Now, dictatorship, unfortunately, we can't use that word without any connotation, negative connotations based upon the experiences of wannabe gods who have
right,
been dictators who have all failed. in their ruling of a nation. So when you
Yes.
say the word dictator, you're unfortunately, dragging along all the negative connotations with all those fake, you know, people out
Yeah.
there who wanted to be gods to a person who is the son of God and who, as you stated clearly, will be righteous. Because, and I wrote,
Yeah.
isn't that the goal of democracy slash politics of the whole voting system and everything? For there to be righteousness within the nation, within the land, within the life of our society. And he just liked it and gave it a thumbs up at the end of it. But I'm like, you answered your own question within
Yeah.
the question itself. Which political party, leader, president, prime minister, whatever, has been righteous?
Yeah.
Not one. Not one.
Right.
Not that you and I would be any better than them either when it comes to that. But seriously,
Correct.
you get my point. We
Yeah.
will all
Oh,
make
I do.
boo-boos that will cost people a lot of time, life, agony, tears, and so on and so on.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
why wouldn't we accept a righteous leader who is without sin? Hmm. Show me one from the human species to date. Not one that we've elected
right.
or put in power or supported. So why wouldn't
Correct.
we accept one that's a little metaphysical in nature as well?
Yeah. And the ones that did try to go down a righteous, good path, they were taken out, like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
y
Every single one.
yeah. It
And
it it
and
doesn't matter.
here comes the part that we're not allowed to talk about. Each and
Mhm.
every one of them, right? Each and every one of them. Who did they pick on? They picked on the bankers.
Yep.
They picked on those that print the money, the so-called
Yep.
feds. And look what happened. They all got popped.
Yes.
Amazing how that happens. What a coincidence every time.
Oh, I know, right? Hmm, I wonder.
Yeah. Was it Lincoln that introduced the greenback? Not what you guys
Yep.
have as the American dollar now, but the greenback, backed
Yes.
by the government slash the people, the taxes, not
Yes.
printed by the Fed, but printed by Congress slash the government, or the governments in general, just to put a general name. It could be Senate, I don't know, Senate, Congress approved, whatever, or both approved. But he had the greenback, a pure US monetary system backed
Yep.
by the hard work, labor, and taxes of the US citizens. Look what happened to him. Popped. I
You wanna
mean,
tell him your channel, brother?
I'm just saying it,
But,
Your channel, yeah, I've got a
Auslander
channel, yeah.
Info is his name.
Auslander Info, that's the name of the channel too, yeah, mate. Yeah,
Yes.
I've got to get up to that 500. Yeah, yeah, sign up to my channel, man. I want to get to that 500 so I can do those mini blogs.
I know, right?
I love reading those, to be honest. I'd love to have the ability to post those mini blogs, what do you want to call micro blogs, whatever you want to call them. Pieces of
Well,
information
brother,
where I don't have to talk, because when I talk, I say it as I see it, and that gets me into trouble.
yes. It does with me too. I mean, like the old YouTube council doesn't like true talk.
Mm-mm.
They want they want everything to be a game of smoke and mirrors.
Oh, yeah. Let's all just pretend to be nice.
Mhm.
Let's all
Correct.
just pretend to be righteous. Yay.
Oh yeah. I mean, the the thing is, it doesn't matter what you're on, what platform you're on. Anytime you try to tell the truth, anytime you try to show reality to something, and you back it with facts, you back it with science, or you back it with
Oh, you're in trouble.
anything that you can, they don't like it because you
You're
hurt somebody's feelings, you
And
know?
here's a surprising thing. There are
Yeah.
numerous channels actually on YouTube that do go down those rabbit holes, and
Mhm.
they're not deleted yet.
Oh, yeah, no, they won't be deleted, but they'll be put on blacklists.
Sometimes I get the feeling that they allow for certain channels to exist,
Yeah,
so that they come across as so abnormal or so non in line with the general
thank you,
agenda.
Beth.
Thank you. And I wasn't mucking around about me trying to get to 500. I'd love to have that feature.
Oh,
I'm just telling it as it is. I don't care. I'm
trust
no,
me, brother.
I'm no entertainer, but that little tool would be fantastic to have available.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
get you
but like
there,
I was
don't
saying,
worry.
there's a couple of channels out there, like a channel called Answers in Genesis.
Yeah.
They go into things that literally, but they touch on the science, they touch on, observational science, real science, everything by
Mhm.
the book. Science
Yeah,
being knowledge, right? And so we're
yeah,
not talking science theories. We're talking science knowledge, proven 100% knowledge, as per the
right.
definition of the Latin word. And they let those channels exist. Why? Because, in my opinion, the majority that's being educated doubts everything that's said in that channel straight from the beginning.
Mhm.
And because they do it the way they do it, and they're not being extremists or anything, they're just sort of like, here's the proof, here it is. And people are going to say, well, that's not what I learned at school. And they sign and they write it off. And the majority will just
Right.
say, "Eek, what a joke," you know? And
Yeah,
the channel has got to the stage where they can't allow comments on their videos because every time they do, they just get overwhelmed, flabbergasted with spammers, with trolls. You know,
yeah,
people who just want to go out there and just whatever. Troll, basically trolls, trolls, trolls.
yep,
So they don't have comments on their videos anymore because of that, which makes it even worse because there's no discussion going on.
yeah,
That's why I think YouTube allows for X amount of these channels to actually do that. But when someone comes in who's not as well organized and tries to tell the truth, then it's like, oh, we can't have thousands of people doing that. We can only allow for certain well organized people and organizations to do that. Because if everybody starts doing it, then the agenda falls through.
right. And also, it's gotta be on presentation too, if it's
Mm,
it's gotta look good, it's gotta sound good, it's gotta be everything that meets their requirements, you know what I mean? Because YouTube is a entertainment platform. So, if it's like, how mine and your channel is, Oz, we are just doing our stuff. We're not editing anything, we're not making anything flashy, whatever.
yeah, yeah. I guess we're not. Yeah, different things. Different people just do things differently.
Right. And but they want somebody that's got a whole entire, PowerPoint presentation and,
Mm-hmm.
a $5,000
Hey,
sound, like, audio system.
for 5,000 bucks, I'd rather buy a very good generator and the fuel to have it running for the next 2 years. Heaven forbid,
Yes,
EV.
sir.
I see that as being a better investment of 5,000 bucks than to be building a channel on YouTube and getting
Right.
the numbers with people who are fake. You know,
Yeah,
like you said, you want to relay a message your way
right.
and to get people thinking about prepping. Fine,
Yeah,
that's absolutely fine. You don't need to be entertaining to do that.
yeah,
You can do it your
yeah,
way and achieve maybe a much larger number of have a much better success rate than the entertainers out there. Why? Because you're not fake. You are who you are. You do it the way you do it, and
yeah,
that's it. But the entertainers, sure, they get the numbers. I've noticed that they get the numbers, they get the
right.
viewers, and the money's rolling in, no doubt about it. But it becomes
Mhm.
then it becomes a business, and once it becomes a business, You lose focus on what the goal is.
Right.
You know,
That is
it's like
completely correct.
there's one channel out there, a young lady from the States,
Hmm.
uh, in 2020 when the lockdowns happened.
Yeah.
She had a video out before that, which was how to monetize your YouTube channel, or something along those lines, based on
Right.
monetization and YouTube, right? That video, within those first couple of months in 2020, which of the lockdowns, got a
Hmm.
million views or whatever it was, half a million views or some crazy number like that. From
Yeah.
that point forwards, 99 out of 100 videos of hers have been exclusively about monetization slash YouTube.
Yeah.
All the other topics that she used to talk about and do and enjoy doing before that, she dropped. She turned her
Yep.
channel into a business. Dots.
Yep. That's how it always happens. Like there was one Survivor of like survival TV, YouTube channel I used to watch, and I'm not going to give out the name or anything, but it was a guy here in the States, and you know, he he used to do real like reviews and everything on all types of gear, and he was at like he was at like 5,000, subscribers. And yeah, he got, he got people sending him stuff to review and all this, like different companies and stuff. And then overnight, he reviewed um, the S SR7. Um, it was a knife from Australia, and he got it before anybody else got it and did his review on it and showed how perfect that knife is that came from Australia. And he got like over 2 million views on it. And his channel, like in the past, like in 1 month, went from 5,000 subscribers to almost 300,000 subscribers in a month. And then all of a sudden, he comes out saying that he's doing a survival course, and he's doing all this new stuff and everything. He lost track of what he was doing and actually getting paid by these companies to review their products and lying about it. Like
Hmm.
he got the Gerber strong arm. And in my opinion, the Gerber arm strong arm is one of the most uh, is like the best fixed blade knife that Gerber has ever created. And he literally put it between two bricks and stood on it and broke it. Like he had to bear down and break it. And he gave the worst review on it ever. And that's all he's doing. He's getting paid to sell out these products now. He has a Amazon link shop. He has an Etsy shop. He has all this stuff now that he doesn't have to care about it. And now he's at like 1.2 million subscribers, and I unsubbed from him because he changed his ways.
Yeah. I mean, I can even understand that somebody, if the money's coming in, you're not going to say no to it, but
Right.
you don't sell out because of the money. That's what you're saying. If I understand
Yes.
it right, that's perfect. That makes perfect sense.
I mean, I would love to have a small company like Wish, sponsor me. That would be amazing to me. And I'm not talking about, all these multi-million dollar, survival businesses or anything like that. And I've seen Wish give, like I got an offer from Wish like 3 months ago to they were going to give me $100 store credit to buy $100 worth of gear and review it on my channel. And
Okay,
when I went to go use that wish, they told me that I had to give a decent review on it. I could not bash them. If it broke on me or anything, I could not show the product breaking. I could not do,
you can't.
all this monetary stuff.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
So why didn't you come? Well, here's an idea. Why not go back to them and say, um, how about we compromise and you give me 10 items of the same type,
Yeah.
i.e., I don't know, fishing hooks or whatever, knives. There, you mentioned knives. Give me
Right.
10 pocket knives to review, and I'll rate them from 1 to 10. So
Yeah.
the bad ones don't get the good rating, the good ones get the good rating. You see what I'm saying? But they'll all be
Right.
exclusively from Wish, and you can tell the truth about them that way. So
Yeah.
you're not giving a
Yeah.
bad review. You're saying, this is my review of the following 10 knives or 10 of these products from this line, and
Mhm.
you're not breaking any of, you're not fibbing, you're not doing anything wrong, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you're giving them all the material that they need to make sure that, you know, that their sellers, because they don't care who
Mm.
this, which seller sells what, whether it's the seller of the cheap knife or the expensive knife. All they care
Right.
is the turnover. Try doing that.
But
Maybe that works.
see, that's the thing. I tried to respond to them, but they won't communicate with me unless I sign their contract on it. Like, I have to follow by their rules and regulations.
On
Like,
them too bad. Too bad for them.
yeah, because like I told you, like if I find something good on Wish, I brag about it. Like how I told you about the Zippo stoppers.
Yep.
And how are those doing for you?
I haven't noticed much of a difference.
Oh, really?
No, not much of a difference, but I've still got it in there. You know,
Yeah.
I'm wanting to believe that it makes a little bit of a difference. Put it that way.
Right.
I'm not
See,
saying that
because
I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm just saying I haven't noticed any real huge difference in how long
okay,
my lighter lasts. But that's the honest truth.
yeah,
But I did buy a bunch of them just in
right.
case, right? For the El Cheapy Star, or it's called Star. The brand's called Star. Imagine that, a brand called Star from a communist country. Lighter, from China, obviously. And
Yeah.
I'll be in those El Cheapy ones that are in the bug out bag
Hmm. Yeah.
when I get around to actually putting them in there. But you see my point? It's like I will still take your advice. Why? Because you've done it. You said yes, it makes a difference. I'll
Yeah.
take your word for it. So I bought a bunch of them that day just based on what your not recommendation was, but on what your review was within those 10 seconds of talking about it.
Yeah. And that's what I've always wanted to do. But I don't have the money. Like most of us preppers and everything, we don't have the money just to blow on what if items. Like, oh, it
I hear you.
sounds like a great idea, but we don't know anything about it. We never heard of it. We never seen it.
Loud and clear. Yeah, loud and clear on
Yeah.
that.
And
Well, look, rather than worrying about whether money's going to come in or if the money's going to come in, just keep doing your thing. And if it
yeah,
happens, it happens. Big deal.
yeah. I'm like when I started this channel and everything, it wasn't to get rich or anything. It was to help people like me that don't have the money, that needs other options that they don't know, to be able to prepare, to be able to have a safe backup plan if anything bad happens.
Yeah, but
And
that's not going to happen. I mean, let's get
yeah,
real. Yeah, let's get real.
oh,
In
oh, I
reality,
know.
best thing that we can hope to achieve with our attitudes that we have towards all this is that certain people out there start thinking about prepping, and
Yeah.
it's not too late. It's never too late. Never. Even when
True.
SHTF happens, it's not too late. Even in the middle of the tribulation, it's not too late. Even the last year of the tribulation period of SHTF, whatever you want to call it, the SHTF tribulation, world war, this, that, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The ugly times that are ahead of
Mhm.
us. Guess what? It's not too late
Right.
because that person is saved at that moment.
Yep.
Potentially saved at that moment because their mindset starts thinking ahead and towards the future and start thinking, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to conform. I can be independent. It doesn't happen immediately. It's hard. It's not easy. It's frustrating. But guess what? It pays off in the end.
Correct. Correct. And that
Not money
that's
wise, it
that's the
pays off. Like,
mindset.
you get my point. Pays off was not
Yeah.
a good. It was not a good choice of words, but it does have a light at the end of that tunnel, and it's not a bloody locomotive.
Right. It's blood, sweat, and tears. Anything that we do, anything that we prepare for, everything, we're always taking a chance at it. That's why we do this stuff, you know? And
Well, here's a piece of information for you. The
mhm.
two guys on YouTube that got me thinking that we all, regardless, because up until last yearish, I was
Yeah.
quiet. I was not talking about prepping. I was not talking about any of that. We
Yeah.
just about, well, unless it was family or close friends. But even then, I was very not secretive. I just didn't talk about it. Simple as that. It wasn't the
Right.
topic of discussion. You know. Oh, what's this? Ah,
Yeah.
that's nothing. That's just ta-da. We're putting some stuff away. Blah blah blah. Stuff like that. But yeah,
Mhm.
avoid the topic type of approach. But then
Yeah.
after the TP wars, right, and brawls, no, and
Yeah.
watching Alaska Prepper, I'll say the names openly. Alaska Prepper
Yeah.
is monetized and all that, but you know what? He keeps pushing the same. He's more on an economical side of things. Okay, he bases it more on the economics, which is fine. It's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. And I was thinking he doesn't have to put up with the rubbish that's going on. Seems
Mhm.
like he's got his military pension. He's got the U.S. military pension. He's living in Alaska. He's pretty much set as far as that. Yeah, he's got. I won't say no worries, but he doesn't have to go through all the BS. But at the
Right.
same time, reading the people's comments, I said to myself, that's what we all need to do. The more people that jump in and start talking about it, the more it becomes a norm. The more people
Right.
realize that there's all sorts of people out there black, white, green, purple, big, tall, small, fat, skinny, whatever prepping. Why are they
Yeah.
prepping? People start talking and they see, wait a minute, this is not limited to just extremists or right wingers or whatever tinfoil hatters, whatever, and blah blah blah. There's all sorts of people who are prepping.
Yeah.
The other bloke that got me thinking was oh god now talk about it. Okay, one of those moments where the mind had it's on the tip of my tongue. Um, uh, and he's a good bloke and all. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a bloke also military pension set in his ways, got his homestead up and running, his farm. Um,
Mhm.
pinball preparedness. Just
Oh, yeah,
couldn't
yeah, yeah. I've heard of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
pinball, but I just couldn't remember the preparedness part because he's got two channels. He had to open up a second channel. Why? Because he was telling the truth. He was going into topics of news and discussion, which
Mhm.
got hit on terribly by the thought police, right? The AKA fact checkers and other parties out there who declare themselves to be gods, right?
Right.
And he put up with a whole heap of crap for well
Yeah.
over 6 months during the jab days, right?
Yep.
And I think to myself, this bloke doesn't need this in his life. He's not doing this for the money. If the money
Yep.
comes in, he's happy. If the money's not coming in, he's happy because he's safe, you know?
Yeah.
He's doing this for a reason. He
Right.
cares. And then in my mind, it was like, yeah, and look at the difference between him and Alaska Prepper. Yeah, there's some parallels that you can pull, but at the same time, they're very different. They're in different parts of the world. Well, different parts of the US, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of the continent, Northern America. So
Yeah.
they're like, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this really needs to start happening in Australia and elsewhere as well, everywhere,
Yeah.
so that the average Joe Blow doesn't feel alienated because guess what? It's only right wingers, or it's only these guys, or only those guys. It's all these extravagant freaks of, whatever. No, there's all sorts of people prepping. And that's when I
Right.
said, okay, start talking about it. So I started bending around and trying to talk about it my own way, right? Share things my own way within my own type of, I don't know, within my own, I don't know how to put it, the niche, not niche, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just me being me. It's like, you can't fix me. No one's going to fix me. I'm broken. But guess
Right.
what? Broken people are preppers too.
Yes. Yes, they are. I
Yeah.
mean, it's, and that's the thing, most of the preppers and everything that are on YouTube and stuff are like have medical conditions, have all this, have a lot of things wrong with them. And that doesn't mean that they can't still be preppers. That doesn't mean that they can't still do what they need to do to survive. It's like me. I have type 1 juvenile diabetes. I'm an insulin dependent diabetic. My main fears is food and insulin, you know? And because I always before the pandemic happened, I was always going to Mexico and getting a year's supply of insulin. But now that Mexico has shut its borders down, I can't go over and get my insulin anymore. So I've had to find different different ways of procuring my insulin. And I just found out last month, the end of last month, that Walmart sells the 70/30 natural human insulin mixture, the 70/30 blend, for $25 a bottle with no insurance. And I mean, that's about the same price that I pay per bottle in Mexico for name brand insulin. But this is Humalog, which comes from the Ukraine, you know, and that, but now I'm scared because I'm scared that the supply chain of what happened in the Ukraine, because they said that they bombed the Novolin factory in the Ukraine,
Mm.
and they shut down all the distribution and everything from that factory. And they only have a supply of like 2 weeks of insulin to give to people. And like that's the max that they have in backstock is just 2 weeks worth of insulin to give people.
Crazy.
And yeah, and we're buying that from them also. And it's and if that runs out, I have to pay almost $700 for one bottle of insulin without insurance.
Ouch.
Yeah. So I'm literally up a creek without a paddle. I can't go to Mexico and get my stuff. And with what's going on in the Ukraine, I may not be able to get my insulin. I mean, I bought 6 months worth of insulin, so I'm okay. But I'm just saying,
For now.
yeah,
You're okay for now.
right.
But you, like most of us, cannot afford a 7 to 10 year supply of what you need. Now, insulin
correct.
might not be able to be purchased. I don't know the ins and outs. I'm presuming it doesn't have a shelf life of 10 years or 7 years.
No, it's got a
But
shelf life of 2 years, but
even buying
still,
a 2 year supply, and let's say that 2 years plus another 2 years, which is the unofficial, if it's
yeah,
kept in the right condition. So let's say a 4 year supply. You cannot afford to go out and buy a 4 year supply of your needs.
right.
I'm not picking on you. That's just
Oh, I know.
reality.
Yeah, and
I
that
know that
that's
feeling.
that's
Okay.
my major fear.
Hmm.
And I've been doing so much research. Like if an SHTF situation happens, I literally have to have a doctrine in chemistry to be able to create my own insulin at home if I have the right materials for it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, the complexity of making an insulin that will not kill me instantly, because all you need is one small factor being off, and it can poison me, or it can literally shut down my whole entire organs with one shot. And that's that's a f- that's more scary, more scarier than facing a nuclear blast. At least I know in the nuclear blast I'm gone in a blink of an eye. But
Yeah. Well, maybe.
yeah, but my organs shutting down one by one and dying that slow, painful death because I miscalculated something is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to imagine, to be honest.
Yeah, I just,
I
and
seriously
I know,
do not want to
yeah,
imagine. It's yeah. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
But at the
it
same time, if you know that's an issue, and that's just like I was saying with the fuel earlier, you got to
yeah,
put that as a priority to stock up on.
yeah,
Start stacking that stuff left, right, and center, whether it's Mexican made or Ukrainian made or whatever, even Russian
right,
made for that matter.
yeah,
You don't have a right to choose if there are no options being made available to you.
right,
You know, um, I,
yeah,
I don't want to sound like a smartass, but even going online and doing what can be done online by those quotation marks Canadian pharmacies, if you know
yeah,
what I'm talking about. If you can do it, or if somebody you know can jump in and do it for you, you see what I'm saying?
right. Hey, Graphic, how you
Yeah,
doing, brother?
you just have to. You don't have a choice.
Right.
And I know you know that, but at the same time, panicking about it, no. If you see
Yeah.
that as an issue, you got to start working on it.
Oh, yeah. And like, my 6 month supply and everything, I went to 4 Walmarts and I bought out their whole entire supply of it. And, you know, I go through a bottle a month, and, a 6 month supply is only 6 bottles, and that's all I could get out of 4 Walmart's pharmacies because they didn't have the stock of it.
I hear you.
And yeah, and like, I'm doing everything I can. It's just being able to actually get it, and most places, most pharmacies and stuff won't ship insulin,
Mm,
um, like, in a plane or anything like that because of the altitude can make it freeze or bust.
ugh,
So,
know that.
yeah.
Oh,
So it's literally
looks like
you have
you're going
to.
on a road trip, mate.
Yeah. You're right?
Yeah,
And
you're on a road trip, mate. You're cruising around the states. You see little dots like on those TV shows. Dot 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 dot
right.
dot. Dot next town. Next town. Dot, dot.
Yeah. I mean, I could get the RNN insulin, but the RNN is a mixture, so you have to mix it together, and I haven't done that since I was, like,
Well,
almost 10 years old.
start reading up on it again.
Yeah, and I know they have a huge stockpile of the RNN, and everybody buys the 70/30 blend because it's already mixed. So,
Don't get me wrong. If you
yeah,
see the obstacle ahead of you, and as I say, 7 years is what you need to prep for. Because
yeah,
none of us knows has that period started or already, which some items or some events do suggest that we are somewhere within that period, and yet we can't say with certainty that we are because other events suggest that we could be heading towards the beginning of that 7 year period. And if you're
right.
well aware of it, then why beat around the bush? Why, no point in stressing over it.
Yeah.
You do what you can, wherever you can, however you can.
Yeah.
Okay, here's an example, and it's maybe not the most appropriate example.
Mhm.
Do you buy alternatives to spam, or do you
Yes, I
just buy?
do.
Well, then
Dude,
you see my
I
point.
will buy lunch and meat.
You see my point.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
ham in a can. It looks like
Yes,
spam,
sir.
tastes like spam, smells like spam. Yeah, but it's not called
It
spam.
fries
Uh,
up sometimes like it.
exactly. It's not called spam, but it sure as hell looks, smells, and tastes like spam.
Right.
But if there's no spam on the shelf, what are you gonna do? You're gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna go hungry now because I don't have a brand name that I want to buy." Uh,
Right.
mhm.
Oh, no. I'm going for that deviled ham, that minced up
Yeah,
ham in a can.
yeah. You see my point? It's like, uh, in your case,
Oh, yeah.
insulin is just as important as food. Dot. It's on that list right up
Yeah.
there at the very top, right next to food. One A food, one B insulin. Oh wait, maybe I should turn. I don't know. They should be on the
You're
same
right.
line. Food and insulin. Dot.
Yes. That that's what I always do. I mean, I got the 6 month supply right now. I still have that's I have that recent 6 month supply that I bought. It's in back stock, and
Mm,
I still got a 7 month supply of my last order that I got. So I'm good on it right now. I'm just watching. I'm trying
yeah,
to listen to see you know, if that
start
supply
rotating.
chain is going to go down or not.
Whatever, like I said, whatever the medicine cabinet has to be filled, just like the foods resources out
Oh
there,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and that's that.
Especially especially with that.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. The medicine cabinet must be filled. Dot. No question.
Yes. Oh yeah. And that's a thing, like, I mean, me and you and everybody else has been through so many prepper channels and so many survivalist channels and all this stuff, and they're talking about their bug out bags and whatever bag that they created. But how
Yep.
many times do you ever see them actually putting in their actual real medicine in their bug out bags. You never see them doing that, you know?
Mhm,
Like, they'll make a small little med kit with, like, aspirin and stuff like that, but
mhm.
it's like, why would you make a bug out kit and everything and not tell people to put in their real medicine?
Well, if they did, then guess what would happen? Some of those medicines, some of those drugs have been literally frowned upon by the mass media over the past 2 years. And if they're
True.
even at the sheer mention of them, to say that you should have some of these in your backpack, in your bug out bag, that their
Right.
channel could be demonetized.
True.
You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I did.
I'm not saying that's
Yeah.
the reason, but that could be one of the reasons.
I
You
guess
don't hear
'cause
me
I'm not
mentioning the name.
monetized.
You don't hear me mentioning the name of that damn pill because of those drugs, even though there's billions of them that's been handed out and nobody, that
Right.
work
Right.
for multiple things. But guess what? You must not mention it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I see what you're talking about now.
Mhm.
So many flaming hoops we have to go through. I mean, it's like we can't we can't discuss anything like sitting at a coffee table,
Well, heck no.
talking to each other.
That's reality. Like I mentioned earlier in a smart ass comment on the comments, I said Goebbels is down in hell having a grand old time, very proud of what he's achieved.
Right.
Goebbels being the propaganda minister of the Third Reich, the guy that literally brainwashed a whole nation, a whole continent practically.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. He's down in hell,
Mhm.
cruising along, smiling, thinking, "Hey, they're finally doing what I did. Yay!"
Right. Right.
But now it's acceptable because now it's the Western world doing it.
Yeah. Hmm. That is true, brother. It makes you think.
Oh yeah,
I
and I'm,
just
and I'm no saint. I am definitely no saint. I'm not even a
Oh,
saint.
neither am I, brother.
As far as the list of candidates for sainthood, I'm down F knows where on that list. Got some
We're
very
under the concrete.
yeah, there's a lot of ant hills above us.
Right? Oh.
But you get my point. Still, doesn't mean that you can't strive to be a better person, to do the right.
Mhm.
But to say that I'm worth, you know, someone's respect, heck no. Yeah,
Right.
uh, you don't. You have to earn your respect. You don't just get it. And all your past
Yes.
deeds all go to hell with one mistake.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah. What was it that comment? Wait, you comment on one of my videos. I think I wrote. I
Mhm.
think yeah, it was you. I said before the when I choose to before the when I decide to cast the first stone at somebody else, I gotta stone myself with Flintstone sized
Yes.
boulders. You know,
Yeah. I'm
hey,
the same way. Oh, man.
yeah, I put
Oh.
I ain't insane. That's right, creative,
Yeah.
100%. I ain't I ain't no saint.
You're right. Oh, yeah, we're the least likely candidates.
Well, there's a joke which I've been pushing ever since. Well, I was about 20-ish. I said,
Yeah.
when you bury me or burn me, right, I want to have a crowbar
Mhm.
with me. Like, what for? I said, well, first thing I want to do with it, I have to smack St. Peter at the gates. Second thing I have to do, I have to break in through the gates.
Oh, man. The holy crowbar.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to the other side without that thing next to me.
Right.
I know when I get up there, he's just gonna be looking like, "Really? You're gonna waste my time by even walk what the hell are you walking up here for?" You know, it's like,
I'm getting in those gates.
that's right, one way or the other, buddy. Nothing I need from you. Uh-uh.
Right. And you don't need to give me a slideshow because I already know what all I've done.
Oh, yeah. There's a joke there's a joke, the Catholic connection, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
there's a few there's, just, the little old Catholic ladies, yeah, they like, former altar boys, yeah, it's like, you got connections.
Right.
So, it's like, if you can't do it with the crowbar, just, turn to corruption.
Right.
Good old Catholic way, mate.
Oh, that's great. Oh man, I love talking with you, Oz, brother. Oh,
Oh, mate, you know who loves me the most and hates me at the same time? Are the Protestants. The Lutherans. Because, it's like, "Oh, really? Okay. Let's go down that
yeah.
road. Yeah, let's start going down that road." Because, yeah, there's like 101 laughs in there, and they all get offended every time.
Oh
They just
yeah.
can't handle
Oh
the truth. Yeah, it's like, "Oh, I have to handle the truth about those guys in Rome, yeah, in the Vatican, and
Mhm.
you can't handle the truth about one clown that said he wills it and so it shall be." I mean, who made him Jason, you know?
Yeah. We, my dad and everything. When my dad was a Baptist preacher, he used to have to deal with the 7 day Adventist,
Just
and
Adventists, yeah.
yeah, and my dad, he hated but loved them. Like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah, it's if you can get, uh you can get a Catholic like myself and a Protestant like
mhm,
myself, or similar nature, who can actually handle the flinging of the shit both ways. You can have a
right.
heated up discussion and laughs the whole way through. But
Oh
you get
yeah.
one guy that's all feely and touchy in that group, the fun's all over. It's all gone.
Yes. Yes. That is true. That is so true.
Ugh.
That's the one thing we don't, that's the one thing that people don't understand is to laugh at themselves, like that's the first step in understanding and honor is self-humiliation. Like,
Hey, if you're gonna laugh, if you can't laugh at yourself, you're gonna laugh at.
right, brother, right.
Well, my crew's coming in. The kids and the wife, they're all coming in.
Uh,
100
well,
miles per hour.
hello, family.
Yeah, they're all cruising on in, mate. It's the joys of living in a rented house that doesn't have enough room in it.
Right.
Yeah.
I, I I lived in an economy size apartment, probably about, smaller than sardine can, where my bedroom was my living room and my closet was also my bathroom. So,
Oh man,
yeah, like
sounds like
I had I had a sink and a fridge and a two-burner stove, and that was my kitchen. I didn't have a place to sit down and eat or any like I had one probably about 2 foot piece of wood that was put on the side of the stove so I could prepare my food with. Those were the days. Those were the days of a poor, starving college student.
well, I got bribed. I got good old
No.
fried chicken, potato, and gravy.
Ooh, that
The little
sounds
tub,
great.
the little tub, the big tub, the little tub.
Oh,
They're trying
hey,
to tell me I'm overweight in their nice
they're
little way.
putting you on your ration for the day.
That's Here you go. He's something you like, but enough for a midget. You know? No, let me rephrase. One of those. Not even a midget. No, this is not big enough. This is insulting for a midget. I say this is enough for. Whatever happened to good old KFC from back yonder year when you go in there and you get a bucket of chicken and this and that, and you actually get
Yeah.
real sized meals.
Everything's portioned now. Over here in America, I don't know if it's went anywhere else, but they have vegan chicken now.
Vegan chicken.
Yeah, vegan chicken. It's plant-based chicken that they cook at
Oh,
KFC.
there's an excellent, excellent vegan chef. I used to watch him
Oh,
really.
really?
Um, and it's funny because 99% of his videos are about making alternatives to meat that taste like real meats. Because
Yeah,
he wasn't always a vegan, obviously, because he knows what meat
right.
tastes like. But I did enjoy watching his channel. Just this was a couple of years, or a few years back,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's excellent. Wait, let me just try to find
Well,
it. Vegan.
I tried that red pepper hummus, and I never tried hummus before over at Sam's when I was there earlier, and that amazed me how good it was, and I never had it before.
Here we go. This guy here. Hang on a second. I'll just,
Mhm.
if you don't mind, I'll just share the link in the channel. Is called
Okay.
the channel is called Sauce Stash. It's like Sauce Dash, I guess, based on
Okay.
his mustache or something or other. Hang on, here we go. There's the link. But he's creative. He's very creative, and a lot of the stuff that he makes, I wouldn't mind trying half the time, to be honest.
Right.
I'm not saying that
Oh,
it
there
would
was
replace. It would. I'm not
yeah,
saying it will, like this one here. He says, KFC type of chicken, whatever. There's a mushroom
right.
out there. It's like KFC chicken. No, no, tastes like KFC chicken. Not. You see what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but at the same time, he's very honest about all the stuff that he makes and all the stuff that he tries, and he sometimes does it multiple times.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't mind watching, to be honest, because guess what? Meat might be a luxury at one, just like it was in the past. You never
Yeah.
know. So
Oh,
maybe we
yeah.
need to get a little creative with what we do with our veggies, not to replace meat, but
Right.
you know, to fill in the gaps, so to say.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things you can do, like, um when when I went to my endocrinologist and everything, my diabetic doctor, they they gave me a vegetarian cookbook to help like for my 3 meals a
Were
day,
they on drugs?
do what?
Were they on drugs?
Yeah, kind of. But my 3 meals a day, they want me to have my meat and everything, but for my like midday snacks and everything, they're like, put, eat more healthier for your snacks. And they made there's this one recipe called jackfruit tacos.
Okay.
And jackfruit, I went to go see how much a jackfruit was, and it was like $50 for a jackfruit.
Yeah, but they're huge, man. They're huge.
Yeah, they're huge, like the size of my
They're
torso.
they're deadly. They're like coconuts. If they fall on your head, you're dead.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a deadly tree to have. in your subtropical tropical region. But at the same time, if you know it's there, you're not going to be walking under it. You know,
Yeah.
against it off if need be.
It's
But yeah, but it's a very very. There's a lot of trees slash plants out there which are absolutely fantastic, like jackfruit, for example, which
yeah.
is a huge amount of food and
Mhm.
can and it can be prepared in so many different ways that it can taste like chicken. It can taste like all sorts of different things. So
Yeah.
they
Like,
even tried to make fake bacon out of it. Put it that way, and
yeah.
succeeded somewhat. Not it's like bacon. It's not identical to bacon. It just reminds you of bacon. Put it that way.
See, that's awesome because, like, because there's like 30 different recipes for jackfruit. Like, the jackfruit taco was supposed to be, like, the consistency of pulled pork, you know? And
That's the most common one with jackfruit. Correct.
yeah, and the picture on it looked amazing, and I was like it made me hungry looking at it, you know?
Yeah, I've tried tofu. I mean, I tried it.
Yeah,
Didn't think much of it, but it wasn't inedible. It just wasn't something that I'd pick and choose. You know.
yeah. I've had Vegemite. I can say that.
I'm not a lover of it. Yeah.
I
But I
I
will
had
tell
it
you
when I
one.
was, like, 6 years old.
I will tell you one thing about Vegemite that
Yeah.
very few people know. I guess you'd have to use Marmite up there because Canada Marmite, they don't. Yeah, they got the British brand Marmite. They don't have the Australian brand
Oh,
Vegemite.
is that what it is? I knew there was
Yeah,
another kinda brand of it.
yeah, it's the pommy copy of it, British.
Ah,
But when I say pommy, that's an acronym for Prisoner of Mother England. That's very derogatory
really?
towards the English people. Yeah, that's why all Aussies call them pommy bastards. It's like
Ah,
just so you know.
gotcha.
But anyway, just so you know the background to the word pommy. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
most Aussies don't know it. Most younger generation, most people don't know what it means, but that's what it really means. Prisoner of
gotcha.
Mother. But you take a teaspoon of Vegemite or that copy called Marmite, put it
Mhm.
in, put it into your barbecue sauce, stir it in until it's all nice and evenly melted. It
Yeah.
gives a bit of a tangy flavor that is excellent.
Huh.
But you put it on a loaf, you put it on a slice of bread. I don't care how thin you put it on there, the flavor's too strong.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
a lover of it. I don't hate it. I just don't enjoy eating it. I'm not. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
and yeah, I grew up in Australia and everything, but I was born here and raised here and everything, and I never loved it. And yet, I know that other people would die for it. Put it that way.
Right.
In barbecue sauce, definitely. When you're making your own barbecue sauce, just a teaspoon,
Mhm.
not the smaller the teaspoon, the better. And just make sure you stir it in until it nice and evenly melts in there,
Yeah.
and it will add that little bit of a flavor that people ask you, "What did you put in there? How did you make this?" Or
Yeah.
why? Why it tastes great? It's different. It tastes like real but yeah, home, but it's good. And
Right.
your answer is always the same thing. You always answer with the same thing. You say, "If I tell you, I have to kill you." Dot.
Yeah, when I had Vegemite, I was at a diabetic camp that was teaching me, when I was young, how to take care of myself on my own with needles and everything.
Okay.
And one of my camp counselors, she was from Australia and she was from Sydney. And it was it was a event, Flavors of the World for diabetics. And her thing was Vegemite and some kind of like biscuit that was almost the same consistency of like hardtack. And
I don't know which one.
I I don't know what it I don't know I don't remember what the biscuit was called. It was some weird name, but it was a thick, like, rye wheat biscuit, and, she put it on there, and she gave it to us, and I remember taking about 3 or 4 bites out of it and running to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about as far as the biscuit goes, but yeah, you don't buy those. End of story.
Yeah.
So if that's the one I'm thinking of. That's the one that you can keep dipping into your tea 101 times and never softens up.
Yeah, like, it was thick, it was hard, and, like, when you try to break it, it would just, like, crack. It wouldn't, like it wouldn't break off. It was just, like, just hairline fractures down it.
Yeah, that's yeah, nah, yeah, nah.
It looked like a mini loaf of bread. I mean,
Imagine that. Yeah, I'm thinking that yeah, there's a few old old style bickies out there that are a bit rough around the edges.
yeah, I mean, the
Yeah,
bread was
then again,
good. It was
hey,
just
then again, you got the Tim Tams, which I don't know if you can eat those or not because chocolate. You can grab a
oh,
whole
yeah?
Tim. Once you get hooked on those, there's no going back.
Oh, I gotcha.
So yeah,
Uh,
it's
she
the
gave
Oreo
us
makes Oreos look cheap. Put it that way.
really?
The only thing with Oreos, I have to admit, there, yeah, every kid loves to take them apart, and yeah, that goes without saying. I don't care where the kid is in the world. That's how you eat an Oreo. End of story. But
Right?
With the Tim Tam, there is a trick. You
Yeah.
get you get your instant coffee, right? Your freeze dried
Uh-huh.
coffee, or even your American coffee might be able to do the trick, but
Yeah.
it's not as yeah. And what you do is you dip the end in and you suck the coffee through it because there's a little gap in the middle which makes it
Oh,
almost like a straw, mate. It is killer. It's evil how good it is. I don't
we
do it
have
because
a we have something like that here. It's like a Biscoff or something, but it's like a wafer that's a
oh
straw
no,
that you
that yeah, that's different. That those chocolate wafers that you're talking about, that's Italian.
yeah.
That's an Italian
Oh,
invention. No, no,
oh,
Tim Tam
okay.
biscuits are two biscuits with a filling, and they're
Yeah.
covered in good old chocolate. But down the middle of it, there is a little gap that you can make it work like a temporary straw. And if you take the instant coffee and you suck it up through that, it just bliss, pure bliss. 6 trillion calories, but pure bliss.
That sounds amazing. She
Yes.
gave she
I have
gave
not
us
done that in
something.
years because I know once you start doing that, you just keep doing it. There's no stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There
the
there
truth.
was something else that she gave us. It was like a that was from Australia. Um, it was it it was like the consistency of butter, like a stick of butter, okay? And it was brown. I don't remember what it's called, but it's made from some kind of root in Australia. But it's like foamy like a brownie, but thick, like like when you bite into it, it turns into like you just bit into a stick of butter, you know?
Hmm.
I don't remember what it was called, but I
If I heard
love that.
if I heard the name, I'd probably know it. But
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it.
Milky Way? Is it?
No,
It's not a chocolate bar, is it? No.
no, no, no. It's not a chocolate bar. It has the flavor of chocolate to it, but it's not chocolate. It's made out of some kind of aborigine root.
Oh,
Um,
I can't say it. Then. Doesn't ring a bell.
yeah,
I know he had the
because
Ovaltine, but that's not a. That's not a thing that you.
Yeah, we have Ovaltine.
Oh, then that's not it.
Yeah, but it was like, I don't know. It was like, it was fluffy. It was fluffy like a brownie, like a, American brownie. It had
Yeah,
the fluff, like a cake fluffiness to it. But when you would eat it, it would mold, like it would clump together and kind of taste like you just bit, and like you're chewing on butter, like, or like gum or something like that. It would go from being fluffy to like this tar like thing, but you couldn't swallow it. You just chewed it, and you got all the minerals and like all the flavor and everything out of it, and you just spit it out afterwards.
I don't have a clue.
Yeah,
Um,
she was half a Aborigine, I think. I think she had some Aborigine in her.
to eat something like
Yeah.
that.
I don't know. She said it
Never.
was she said it's made out of an Aborigine root, like some kind of Aboriginal root that's grown around like the Aborigine lands.
I
I
honestly don't. Yeah, it just doesn't. If I heard the name, maybe it would get the light
yeah,
bulb on. Just off the top of my head, the way you described it,
it
doesn't ring a bell at all.
it's it started like Targine
Target sounds like a Target product to me.
yeah,
Target.
it was like Targine or Tarjana, or I don't know. I was like 6 years old.
Uh, doesn't ring a bell to me. Like I said, if I heard the
Yeah.
name, it probably would light up. A light bulb would light up. But
I'll look it up, and I'll let you know next time I talk to you.
well, here's a funny one, right? I grew up
Yeah.
here. I grew up right. Meat pies to meat pasties, whatever sausage rolls, all that stuff is normal. Yet my
Uh-huh.
kids and missus were born overseas, right?
Yeah.
Well, the kids spent their childhood there. Missus spent a part of her life, the biggest chunk of her life there so far.
Right.
So the next 100 years she's going to spend in Australia. Um, but they're not lovers of the foods that we kids that grew up here, went to the tuck shop or to the canteen as you call it, just 20 cents or your 10 cents or 15 cents, whatever it was back then. Forget now. Now it's
Right.
like $5 or $10. Yeah. But back in the day when I was a kid, it was like 20 cents, or 10 cents or whatever. It's like, oh, they went up from 15 to 20 cents. Oh my lord, in the world.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, all those foods like the 4 and 20 meat pies and pasties and
Yeah.
rolls and that, no, they've got a different. Their taste buds have different. They different things tantalize their taste buds because they grew up
Right.
in part of the world. And
Yeah.
just noticed that with them, like, oh, that's interesting. Doesn't make it good or bad. It's just different.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. Oh, hold on, brother. Okay. The missus is wanting me to cook her breakfast.
oh, okay, you go
Yeah.
do that. I'm glad you're not on the. I'm glad you're on the headset and not on the computer. I don't want you
Right.
getting ideas. All right.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, man.
oh, it was great talking with
I
you,
thought we were
Oz.
buddies. I thought we were buddies. What are you doing to me there? What are you
Right.
trying to do? Oh man, friends like you need enemies.
Right.
Yeah, sleepers.
I know, right?
Oh man,
All right, brother. I'm gonna get off here and
go have
start
fun.
making some breakfast. All
I
right.
guess you,
It was
I guess you're
great talking with
I
you.
guess you're paying back a debt there. You obviously owe her one.
Yeah. No, she's not a breakfast person because here in Texas, they don't know what breakfast is. Like their stuff is like carne asada tacos or bean and cheese tacos, like breakfast burrito kind of things. Like not a good old southern gravy and biscuits with sausage and bacon and eggs, and they're not used to that stuff.
Best Mexican food I ate was in Houston, at a mom,
Yes.
what they call a mom and pop shop down there,
Oh
and
yeah.
it was excellent. I'm not complaining. So when people talk Mexican restaurants, I'm like, nah. That mom and pop shop killed it for me. It's like
Oh yeah, brother.
I don't
That
buy Mexican food anymore because it's never going to be like as good as that was from that one little takeaway shop or fast food shop, whatever. You know?
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially when you get out of the bigger cities and like you go to the outer rural areas, that's where you get the real diamonds in the dirt, like
Yeah.
the people that actually came from Mexico actually
Yes.
really making.
Yes. Little Mexican guy, and they'll literally a mom and pop shop is what you call them, literally,
Yep.
and the food was Mexican food, and Taco Bell's was off my list of fast food restaurants.
Yeah,
Like,
once you've had a
yeah,
real Mexican restaurant, you'll never look at Taco Bell the
exactly.
same.
Nope. Never. Not once after that. Not once. Put it that way.
Right.
Like, oh man, I've been conned for all these years. It's
Yeah.
like here I was
All
losing
right,
me.
brother.
Yeah,
I'm
you'll
gonna get off of
enjoy the
here.
brick, and yeah, see you next time, mate.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
You
God
take
bless.
care, brother. You take care. You have a good one. Stay. I'll talk to you next time, brother. Y'all. All right, everybody. I hope y'all have a great morning, evening, night, and always be prepared and always be safe and always, always have a good laugh and enjoy every minute because you never know. Just enjoy life while you can. Love y'all. Take care, family. Bye.